Hello, welcome back to episode 9 of my NBA 2K22 Toronto Raptors MyGM series. Before we get into the episode, I wanted to thank you guys. We've hit 30 subscribers now with no sign of slowing down. I obviously can't force you to subscribe, but just know that we've got big plans for this channel. So, we've reached the trade deadline, and don't think I forgot about Ben Simmons by the way, but we'll get to him a little later in the video. To start off with the trade deadline moves that we made, we're trading Ken Birch to the Atlanta Hawks for an ex-Raptor in Delon Wright. We talked last episode about the mid-season grades. I've linked a card to that video in the top right if you want to go watch that, where we talked about Ken Birch being a potential trade piece. The Hawks need to do this trade because their backup center Onyeka Okongwu went down with a torn bicep and got ruled out for the entire season and playoffs. They have Lou Will to run all of their backup point guard minutes, so they won't exactly miss Delon too much. Personally, I think we're getting a really good player in Delon Wright. He's someone who can make plays for his teammates. He's really good at defending on the perimeter. And yeah, I think he's just going to be an all-round great guy to have on the team. Now, Ben still hasn't played a single game this season, but the Sixers are actually one of the best teams in the league, standing at the second spot in the Eastern Conference right now. They have 34 wins and 20 losses. I mean, it's pretty impressive what they've been able to do. Tyrese Maxey has stepped up a huge amount. They've waited such a long time to make a trade and essentially gave up on trying to get a huge return for Ben. This leads them to look to the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that is battling for a playoff spot this year, who could honestly use Ben Simmons to help improve their defense, while also giving the capacity to create shots for D'Lo, Ant-Man, and Karl Anthony Towns. To get this deal done, they're trading their lottery-protected first this year, and a 2024 unprotected first rounder, along with Malik Beasley and Patrick Beverley, for Ben Simmons. In return, the Sixers do get a young 20-point per game scorer with Malik Beasley, and a really solid defender in Pat Bev. Now, I don't want to mess around too much with other teams in the league, but Ben Simmons did need to get traded, and that's pretty much that. The Rockets are pretty much out of playoff contention, so I'm going to allow John Wall to make his debut this season and play out the rest of the season as a sixth man, where he can hopefully provide a bit more veteran leadership to Kevin Porter Jr. before he leaves in free agency next year. Anyways, for the rest of the episode, I wanted to quickly touch on the other teams who were involved in that big blockbuster trade that we made earlier in the year. To start off with, the OKC Thunder are the worst team in the league at 12 wins and 42 losses. I mean, they're going to have a lot of fun in the draft, but that's about it. The Mavericks have actually downgraded Marvin Bagley to the bench. He's still putting up good numbers, but maybe they've decided Maxi Kleber is a better starter? I have no idea. On the other hand, the Sacramento Kings are the 4th best team in the West, and are looking pretty strong to be honest. De'Aaron Fox broke his left hand, and they've still won 6 out of the last 10 games. We're expecting them to be a contender this year, which is really good for Siakam, I suppose. Finally, the Pacers hold the 4th seed in the East, with an eerily similar record to the Kings as well. TJ Warren is dealing with a broken left ankle, which has actually led our guy Svi Mykhailiuk to come in as their starting small forward. Overall, it looks like all of the teams that we included in the deal are getting pretty much what they wanted. And that's pretty much a wrap. Next episode we'll be playing against the new-look Minnesota Timberwolves, which will be a really interesting game, before playing through All-Star Weekend. I mean, fingers crossed that Buddy Hield makes the 3-point contest, otherwise we do have Shai in the All-Star game which we can play through. But yeah, other than that, we're pretty well on track to finishing the regular season.